back to Daily Misfire. Today, I'm giving you a quick little update on this thing. Oh yeah. I feel like this is all I've been working on like the last week and a half. It's mind-boggling. Was fun, now it's annoying. So, over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, we spent close to probably 30 hours working on this thing between me and my dad, trying to get it running. First day, Saturday, we didn't get it running. We never tried to pop it off. We were trying to spin it for oil. It never was getting oil pressure. So we were checking oil pressure and stuff on it. Could never get oil pressure. So we dropped the pan in the engine, or in the engine bay. Pulled the oil pump out. The oil pump had some weird gnarly stuff on it. The oil pump rod had some weird stuff. So we changed both of those out, put it back in. Now it makes oil pressure. The weird part was, though, is it was making this weird bubba-da sound, and I don't understand why. So we ended up trying to figure out why it's doing that, because it was making no compression whatsoever. We did everything to try to make sure the timing chain and everything was on correctly. It all looked like it was okay. Excuse me. So we went through the whole thing, checked all the valves multiple times, checked, top dead center, checked where one was at, checked with the, make sure it was sparking on one. All that, we made it work. It was all to the right spot. It just was not making compression. So we ended up last night pulling the whole front accessory drive apart to get to the timing chain. And when we got there, we found out that it's a Cloyes timing chain, or Cloyes. The crank gear on it has 3 different spots that you can adjust on, and where I had it, I had the triangle, which is what comp always has you do. Its triangle is the factory OEM spec, and then the dot. So I had them dot to dot, which is 180 out of it's top dead center on 6, which would also be 1, but it's 180 out on 1. So that's where I had it, and then I adjusted all the valves from there. But where I had it, it was actually retarded to where number 1 cylinder wasn't on top dead center when it was all on 1, on that where the mark was at on the crank. So there was no way for it to make compression when the valves were opening. So there was no way this engine was ever going to run, because it wasn't making any compression on when it needed to. So we fixed that. So now it's all back together. We ended up having to cut my oil pan gasket because we couldn't make it fit on. We couldn't get the timing chain cover back on the engine without cutting it. I know what you're thinking. You're not supposed to do that, and I know we're not supposed to do that. But we didn't want to pull the engine back out. We didn't want to pull the oil pan. So we cut the gasket. It's kind of like a Ford, because you can do that in small block Fords and it's okay. So we cut the gasket, glued it all back up. There's 2 bolts holding the front of it. It's not like a small block Chevy. So there's 2 bolts holding it in. So we RTV'd the snot out of it. So it should be fine. I have relatively decent hopes that it's actually going to work. So then today, I'm going to pull. You won't see this. This is just me updating you, keep in mind. But you'll see it later. I'm going to put the entire accessory drive back in. The radiator goes back in. Everything goes back in. And then, hopefully, we're going to adjust all the valves. And it'll run. So we can break the cam in, because we still haven't done that. Break the cam in the engine. Get it running. Swap the FI tech onto it, so that it has fuel injection. Swap that back onto the car. And then drive the truck around as much as I can, because then after that, in a little over 2 weeks, it has to go to Tennessee. I am driving this back to Tennessee because that's when I am moving back. So my official drop date in California is June 30th. I am out. And this thing's taking me and the Nova that way. I just have to get this stupid thing to work. So hopefully, after everything we just did, we're gonna, say a prayer. We're gonna go sacrifice some KFC over it. If you get that reference, I like you. We're gonna go do all that. Hopefully it'll work, We can break the cam in nice and easy, and it'll all just work. Caveat to this is that today's Monday, tomorrow's gonna be Tuesday. You're probably gonna see this tomorrow, Tuesday. On Wednesday, I get my wisdom teeth pulled out, so then I have 3 to 7 days of shutdown that I can't do a whole lot. So really, I have like a week and plus or minus 3 or 4 days to try to get this where it needs to be. Plus, I have to work on the trailer. I still have to get brackets. I still have to put spots for ramps to be put on it for the Nova to roll up on that trailer. It's fine. I'm fine. We're all fine here now. It's gonna be what it'll be. But yeah, so that's kind of where this is all at right now. I'll show you the interior because we actually did mount all the gauges. That is one thing that actually looks good right now. I'm happy with. So you sit inside the truck, all the gauges and stuff, I repainted all that earlier, but there's the new sport comp autometer gauge. It's our TAC, that's the same one that's in my Nova. And then there's auto gauge, their little tripod gauges down there, because we don't really trust these gauges necessarily because we just don't know. So that way we have a good bounce off gauge to check everything else over. And then after all this, we're gonna have the FI Tech control computer that we'll have setting here, probably setting here or somewhere around here. That way we just can see everything that's going on. So that's kind of what's going on in here. And then in the back, I got more carpet. So you can kind of see the carpet down there. It's not pretty, but it'll work. You can see the carpet in here too. It's all nice and black and not metal. So that's kind of the positive with all of that. I also put a whole lot of insulation in the back so you can kind of tell. So there's actually R19 like insulation, like this stuff, all up in here and behind the back seat. And I was trying to keep as much road noise out of this thing as possible. There's also like 3 layers of jute down here. So trying to keep as much road noise out of the interior as possible. I know we're gonna have the windows down a lot of the time, but that way at least we're not completely baking or have, you know, total road noise. Oh, and there's one more thing. I got tires. So you can see the back of the thing is in the air. That's because I had to take the tires over to go get new ones. So these are Cooper Discover HT3s. They're 235/85/16s. They're a truck tire. I think they're a 10-ply truck tire. For 4 of them, it was $700, which I think is a good deal. But 2 of them are going to go on the back. They're going to be on the outside because I'm going to put the fronts on the inside duals. So because they're a different tire, but they're still new. Those are Corsas. They're highway terrains is what these are. So because they're a different kind of tire, they're going to be on the inside duals. And then we'll have the other ones on the outside, and then we'll put the new ones on the front. That way we have new tires in the front and new tires in the outside duals. That way we have the most, I don't know what, and that way it all looks correct or matches correctly. So that way that's all good. But then it'll have taller tires because the ones that were on the back I think were 225s, so or 235/75s maybe, I don't remember, but it doesn't matter. It has new tires now. Hopefully the engine will work. I'm praying that the transmission, everything is perfectly fine the way it needs to be. Aside from that, that's kind of all I got. I'll let you guys know, give you an update later in the week or probably next week on how my, you know, teeth and jaw and everything is going, because wisdom teeth are very fun. I can't wait. You might get a blooper video of me, you know, being stoned out of my mind from being, you know, under general anesthesia. So with that being said, I'll let you guys see all that later. Be sure to like and subscribe. Help me get to 300 subscribers. And with that, I will see you guys later. Peace.